Good morning, students. Welcome you all for next generation learning. Today, we are going to see the subject physics, class 10, chapter number 12, electricity. Topics: resistance, activity, current is different for different components, then conductor, the fourth one, insulator. The next, factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. It depends on four factors. One is on its length L, on its area of cross section A, on the nature of its material, temperature. The last class we have learned about resistance. The resistance is nothing but it is one of the property of a conductor. It resists to flow of electric charge. And the SI unit of resistance is ohm. According to Ohm's law, we know that V equal to IR. From this, we can write R equal to V by I. So, R equal to V by I equal to V by R. How? When this I will come this side, the R will go here. So, I equal to V by R. From this statement, we can say that I is directly proportional to V and inversely proportional to R. So the current through a resistor is inversely proportional to its resistance. How I say that the current is inversely proportional to resistance? Because in this formula I is inversely proportional to R. If the resistance is doubled, the current get half. How? Because I equal to inversely proportional to 1 by R. When the resistance is doubled means you have to put the value of R is 2. That means doubled. When I put the doubled value in the resistance, the current get halved. So I equal to 1 by R, I equal to 1 by 2 because here the R value is doubled. So when the R value is doubled, the current get half. In many practical cases, it is necessary to increase or decrease the current in an electric circuit. So when we are doing the practical experiment, we have to increase or decrease the current in the circuit. How I will increase or decrease the current in the circuit? From the Ohm's law, we know that the potential is directly proportional to I. So when we change the voltage, the I value also changed. When I increasing the voltage value, that means 9 volt battery, I will increase to 12 volt. So the current will also increased. When I decrease the voltage, the current value also decreased. So from the Ohm's law, we know that the V directly proportional to I. So that using voltage source, we can change the current in the circuit. But without changing the voltage source, how I will increase or decrease the current in the circuit? Which instrument is help us to do that? A component used to regulate current without changing the voltage source is called variable resistance. Using variable resistance, I can change the current in the circuit without changing voltage source. In an electric circuit, a device called rheostat is often used to change the resistance in the circuit. So using this rheostat, I can change the current in the circuit because the rheostat has a property of resist the flow of electric charge. So when the flow of electrons are reduced, automatically the current will be reduced. So using this rheostat, I can change the current value in the circuit without changing the voltage source. The another name of this rheostat is called variable resistance. The next one, activity. We will now study about electrical resistance of a conductor with the help of following activity. Take a nichrome wire, a torch bulb, a 10 volt. See here, you have to take nichrome wire, then torch bulb, 10-volt bulb, then ammeter and plug key, voltage source and connecting wires. For doing this activity, you have to take nichrome wire, 10-volt bulb, torch bulb, wire, voltage source, key. Set up the circuit by connecting 4 tri-cells of 1.5 volt each in series with the ammeter, leaving a gap XY in the circuit. Look at this circuit. Here the 4 tri-cells, the each cells having 1.5 voltage. This voltage source is connected to the ammeter. Then you have to leave some gap. Then you have to connect with the key and the key is connected to the battery. See here, it was clearly shown here. The positive of the battery is connected to positive terminal of the battery is connected to positive terminal of the ammeter. The negative terminal of the battery is connected to negative terminal of the ammeter is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So here I given some gap XY. This is a nichrome wire, 10-volt bulb and torch bulb. Complete the circuit by connecting the nichrome wire in the gap XY. Plug the key, note down the ammeter reading. See, in this gap, you have to connect the nichrome wire. So when I connected the nichrome wire, the circuit is closed circuit. So the current is started to flow. So the ammeter shows some current reading. You have to note down the current reading. I noted that the current value is 5 ampere. So when I connected the nichrome wire in the gap, the circuit is complete circuit. So the current will started to flow. I took the ammeter reading. The ammeter reading is 5 ampere. Now take out the key from the plug. You have to take out the key from the plug. Now the circuit is open circuit, so that there is no current. Replace the nichrome wire with the torch bulb in the circuit and find the current through it by measuring reading of the ammeter. Take out the plug key and remove the nichrome wire from the gap. Then connect the torch bulb in the gap. Then close the key. Now the circuit is a complete circuit. You have to take the ammeter reading. The ammeter reading is I equal to 7 ampere. So when I connected the nichrome wire, the ammeter reading is 5 ampere. When I connected the torch bulb, the ammeter reading is 7 ampere. Now repeat the above step with the 10-volt bulb in the gap. Again, I remove this torch bulb from the gap. Instead of torch bulb, now I connected 10-volt bulb. The switch is closed, so the current is started to flow. I took a meter reading. The meter reading is I equal to 9 ampere. So from this we can say that the current value is different for different material. Nichrome is one of the material, the torch bulb is some other material, and 10-volt bulb is some other material. So the current value is different for different material. From this activity we learned that the current is different for different material. So, or the ammeter reading differ for different components connected in the gap XY? What do the above observation indicate? So, in this observation, we have clearly learned that the current is different for different material. Why? What is the reason? In this activity, we observe that current is different for different components. Why do they differ? Certain components offer an easy path for the flow of electric current while the others resist the flow. We know that motion of electrons in an electric circuit constitute the electric current. You can clearly know that who constitute the electric current in the electric circuit? The movement of electrons constitute electric current in the circuit. Some materials allow the electrons easily. Some materials does not allow the electrons easily. The electrons, however, are not completely free to move within a conductor. They are restrained by the attraction of the atoms among which they move. Look here. Here I connected the battery. The conductor is connected to the battery. This is a conductor and this is connected to a battery. This conductor has many atoms. When I connect with the battery, the electrons from the atoms are moved from one atom to another atom. But the electrons are not completely free to move within a conductor. They are restrained by the attraction of atoms among which they move. So, motion of electrons through a conductor is retarded by its resistance. If the resistance is more, means the motion of electrons through a conductor is less. When the resistance is high, see here, a component of given size that offers a low resistance is a good conductor. If you take a conductor, that conductor has a low resistance, means it allows more electrons to move. If you take a conductor, the conductor has a high resistance, means it does not allow more electron to move. See here, in the both the conductor are same. Here the 5 electrons are moved, here the 3 electrons are moved. Because this conductor has low resistance, this conductor has high resistance. Example, if you take a road, if the more speed breaker, means the speed of the vehicle is reduced. If a less speed breaker, means the speed of the vehicles are more. So here the resistance is always compared to the speed breaker. When the resistance is a low resistance, the number of electrons are moving, the more number of electrons will move. If the resistance is high resistance, means the less number of electrons only move. So depending upon the resistance, we can say that whether this material is a conductor or insulator. It has a low resistance, means it is a conductor. It has high resistance means that is insulator. A component of identical size that offers a higher resistance is a poor conductor. If maybe it is a higher resistance, it has a high resistance value means it is completely insulator or poor conductor. The poor conductor means it contains less current. It is equal to insulator. An insulator of the same size offers one even higher resistance. An insulator of the same size offers even a higher resistance. So if insulator means it is a higher resistance, insulator means higher resistance, and conductor means low resistance. It is a very important point. The conductor has a low resistance and the insulator has higher resistance. So here I written conductor has a low resistance and insulator has higher resistance. A conductor having some appreciable resistance is called resistor. The resistor also having some resistance value. So this is a resistor. When we connect this resistors in the circuit, it resists the flow of electrons. It has some values. That means it has 1 ohm, 5 ohm or 100 ohm values. So from this topic, you learn that what is meant by the resistance, how the resistance is related to current, I inversely proportional to 1 by R. This is a relationship between I and R. Then how the current is different for different material, we learned from the activity. When I connected nichromwire, electric bulb and torch bulb, the current is different for these materials. And the next I learned that what is meant by a conductor and what is meant by insulator. The conductor means it has a low resistance. When the resistance is low, the more number of electrons will flow. When the resistance is high, the less number of electrons are will move. So this material act as a insulator. The homework question. The resistance of a wire is doubled, the current becomes dash. The second question, the resistance of a wire is halved, the current becomes. The third question, what you learned from the activity. The fourth question, conductor has dash resistance. The fifth question, insulator has dash resistance. The sixth question, what is meant by resistor? The seventh question, what is meant by rheostat? And the resistor and rheostat have different component. The resistor means it has some values. Rheostat means it has some range of values. The next topic, factor on which the resistance of a conductor depends. It depends on its length L, on its area of cross section A, on the nature of its material, and temperature. Here I took a conductor. The conductor has a length L and this is the area of cross section A. So the area of cross section is represented by the capital letter A and the length is represented by small letter L. So the conductor has a length and also area of cross section. This is a circuit diagram. Look at this circuit diagram. Here I took battery, not battery, it is a cell and ammeter, key, and I leave some gap. The positive terminal of the battery is connected to the positive terminal of the ammeter. The negative terminal of the ammeter is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So this is a circuit diagram. So here I took nichrome wire, the first one nichrome wire, and it has a length L. In second case, the same nichrome wire, but the length is doubled. Here I took 2 meter nichrome wire, means here I took 4 meter nichrome wire. I just increased the length of the nichrome wire. So first I connected the nichrome wire length L in the gap. So here I written case 1, the factor is length L. So I measured the current in the ammeter. The current value is I1. Simply I written that is 4 ampere. Just I calculated 4 ampere. Now I increased the length of the nichrome wire by doubled. So the length of the nichrome wire is, in case 2, the length is doubled. That means here I took 2 meter nichrome wire. In a second case, I took 4 meter nichrome wire. So the length is just doubled. I noted the ammeter value, the current value. Here I noted the I1, case 1 I1. In case 2, when I measured the current value, the current value is 2 ampere. Here the current value is the 2 ampere. So comparing to the first case, in a second case, the current value is decreased by 2. So I written here I1 by 2. So when I substitute here I value, what is I value? 4 by 2. That means 2 ampere. Here I written 2 ampere. Dear students, are you clear in this case? In a first case, I took the length L and I measured the current value, that is I1, that is 4 ampere. In a second case, I just increased the length of the nichrome wire. I measured the current value. I got 2 ampere. So the 2 ampere is nothing but I1 by 2. So from this I can say that I is inversely proportional to L. Why? See here, when I increase the L, the I value is decreased. Here L, the value is 4 ampere. Here 2L, the value is 2 ampere. So from this observation, I can say that the I value is inversely proportional to L. So from Ohm's law, we know that V equal to IR, V by R equal to I equal to I inversely proportional to 1 by R. So I inversely proportional to 1 by R, this is equation number 2, this is equation number 2. This is equation number 2, this is equation number 1. So in both the equation, the left hand side is same. So I equate the equation 1 by L inversely proportional to 1 by R. So from this relation, I can say that R is directly proportional to L. Are you clear? This is I get from the observation. So this relation is I get from the Ohm's law. When I equate the equation, from that relation, I can say that R directly proportional to L. Here we are comparing only the resistance. In case 3, the length L, the area of cross section. This is area of cross section. I increased the area of cross section. The same nichrome wire, the length is L, but I increased the area of cross section. In a first case, I took the nichrome wire length L. This is the area of cross section. In second case, the length L same L, but the area of cross section is I increased. This area of cross section is increased. Comparing to this area of cross section, this is more. So I connected this is in the circuit. I calculated the current value. So in a case 3, the factor is area of cross section A. So when I measured the current value, that is 6A ampere. Sorry, 6A. That means 6 ampere. 6 ampere. So I1 value is 4 ampere. This current is I3. So when comparing to I1, the I3 value is greater. That means 6 ampere. Now I removed this nichrome wire, cross section A. Here I took copper wire. Here I changed the material from nichrome to copper. So when I connected the copper wire in the gap, I measured the current. The current value is I4. In case 3 means I3. So the current value is, it shows 8 ampere. So comparing to the I1, the I4 value also increased. So here I written I4 is greater than I1. And in the third case, the I3 is greater than I1. So from this observation, I can written I directly proportional to A. How? When I increased the area of cross section A, the current value is increased. So I written I directly proportional to A. From Ohm's law, we know that I inversely proportional to 1 by R. When, see here, the left hand side are same. So this equation is 1 and this equation is 2. And from 1 and 2, the left hand side is same. So I equate the equation. So A inversely proportional to 1 by R. So when I rearrange that, R inversely proportional to 1 by A. That means when R will come here, the A will go here. Are you clear this equation? From the observation, I directly proportional to A. From Ohm's law, I inversely proportional to 1 by R. And the left hand side is same. So I equate the equation. From this equation, I can know that R inversely proportional to 1 by A. So from 1 and 2, the first equation, I know that R directly proportional to L. In second equation, R inversely proportional to 1 by A. See here. So in this equation, R inversely proportional to 1 by A. Here I got R directly proportional to L. These are the very main equations. So R directly proportional to L, R inversely proportional to 1 by A. Here the left hand side are same. So I written R directly proportional to L and inversely proportional to A. Here I removed this proportionality constant. Instead of proportionality constant, I add the rho in the equation. This rho is called resistivity. Are you clear? This is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. So in this equation, R directly proportional to L. So R directly proportional to L. In second equation, R inversely proportional to A. So R inversely proportional to A. So here I removed the proportionality. So I add some constant. That constant is called rho. That means that is resistivity. So R equal to rho L by A. Here L is length, A is area of cross section, rho is resistivity. It is also called proportionality constant. So the unit of rho, rho is resistivity. What is the unit of resistivity? R equal to rho L by A. When I rearrange the equation, the A will come here, the R will also come this side. So I can write R A by L equal to rho. You know, the SI unit of R is ohm, and the area means length into breadth. So length into breadth means the length also measured by meter, the breadth also measured by meter. So the whole unit is meter square. So instead of A, I written meter squared. By length, the length is measured by meter. So when I cancel m and m, the remaining things is ohm and meter. So the SI unit of resistivity, the resistivity is nothing but it is rho. This is rho, its name is resistivity. So the unit of resistivity is ohm meter. So unit is ohm meter. Now we are going to see what is meant by resistivity. R equal to rho L by A, where rho is a constant of proportionality and it is called electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. We can say that this is a constant of proportionality. Why I am saying that this is a constant of proportionality? For in starting, you know that R equal to L by A. So I have to remove this proportionality. So I have to add some constant. So that constant is called rho. So it is also called constant of proportionality or electrical resistivity. The SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. It is a characteristic property of the material. How the resistance is a property of a material, the same also resistivity also property of a material. So I hope you understood what is meant by the resistivity, and also you know you know that uh, the resistance, you know that how the resistance of the conductor depends. The resistance of the conductor depends on length, area of cross section and material. In a starting itself I say that see here. So in this slide I said that the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends, it depends on the length and it depends on the area of cross section and the nature of the material. That means in this activity we proved that it is directly proportional to L and inversely proportional to A. So it depends on the length L and area of cross section we proved in the activity. And what is meant by the nature of the material? In this activity, at the last case, instead of nichrome wire, I used the copper wire. So when I change the nature of the material from the nichrome to copper, the current, the resistance value also changed. So you can say that the nature of the material, the resistance value also changed. And the temperature is a very uh, important factor. The resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to the temperature. That means when the temperature is increased, the resistance also increased. When the temperature is decreased, the resistance value also decreased. This is a very important 3 mark question. In a factors on which the resistance of the conductor is depends means You have to say that the resistance of the conductor is depends on the length L, area of cross section A, on the nature of the material, temperature. In a temperature means the resistance is directly proportional. In a area of cross section means inversely proportional. And length means directly proportional. The nature of the material, the nichrome wire and copper wire. When I took nichrome wire, I got the I value is 4, but when I change the material to copper, the I value is increased. So depending upon the nature of the material also, the resistance of the conductor depends. And the homework question, the first question, write factors on which the resistance of your conductor depends. The second question, when the length of the conductor is increased, its resistance becomes dash. The third question, when area of cross section of your conductor is increased, its resistance becomes dash. The fourth question, write the formula of resistivity. Thank you for watching.